Today we're going to be installing and testing a Carroway ceiling fan. Here's the motor right here. I have the information here. This says Carroway fan, model number EF100, 120 volts, 60 hertz, 0.68 amps. Made in People's Republic of China. So, I don't know what that means. Doesn't mean made in China. I got this from Face Hacker Book, rip you off, steal your data, provide zero customer service, lying, dishonest, scam marketplace for $10. And the person that I bought this from was, the listing on there was a kind of little sketchy. I know that there was someone who liked this, and usually that's a concern because that means somebody probably bought it. But in this case, it wasn't. It was actually totally legitimate. So, I find these fans to be pretty cool looking, and this color that this fan has is really not the typical brown you'd see. This is like a reddish. This has kind of a reddish tint to it. This thing has a bell canopy, and anything old enough to have a bell canopy, such as this fan, usually is a no joke. This has the double claw mount, which that makes me think it's probably sometime from the 80s at some point. Maybe very late 70s. I don't know when these were sold. They were probably an 80s product. So, it has these blade irons here, which I think look pretty cool. And unfortunately, they're not in the best of condition. But the good thing with ceiling fans is that a lot of these imperfections that you see usually are not that noticeable once it's on the ceiling. So let's go ahead and get this thing assembled and tested. I have the blades here. I have the rest of the irons here. Made sure they were all present. This has the styrofoam pieces, but unfortunately this does not have the box. If this had the box, it would be really cool, but unfortunately it doesn't. So let's go ahead and get this thing assembled. Start off with the blades here. Since these are stamped irons, this is going to have nuts and bolts as well. And this has a staple. You've got to save the staple for some psychotic reason. Actually, this bag already has a couple of holes in it, but save the staple for something else. That bag has a couple holes in it. I'm going to use a Ziploc bag when I put this back away. So let's see. Here's what the blades look like. Very nice dark finish. This side up. Don't tell me what to do. I'll put it whatever side I feel like it. Let's see. This side up. Don't tell me what to do. I will put it the side I want it to. So I'm gonna put the hardware in this compartment here. And let's see here. I think it's supposed to go like this. Because, yeah, these are very decorative irons. That's pretty good. Packaging's also kind of disintegrated, so I might put these back into some like bubble wrap sleeves when I put this back away. Now these are labeled A through D, I've noticed, so perhaps maybe these have been balanced. But I'm gonna put these in the order I feel like doing it. If it really wobbles that bad, well then I guess you can't change the ordering of this. If these really were balanced from the factory, I would think that alone would say this is a halfway decent fan. Given the fact that this is old enough to have a bell canopy and the double claw mounting system, I think this is gonna be a no joke. Well, there's a pretty big scratch in there. I don't know how rare this color is going to be, but it would be cool to have a light kit on this fan as well. Now unfortunately there's no extra washers. I know I dropped one somewhere, but if I can find it real quick, I'll use it. Oh, was able to find it. Cool. I was not expecting that at all. gotta clean up this car as well. Shouldn't live like this. Too much stuff in here. All right, last blade is done. Now we're gonna get the motor assembled. Okay, zoom out a little bit. Really? I have to take the ground screw off before I put the canopy up. Not that big of a deal. There we go. Easily slid on. All right. And now we'll have this pin get through here, add that, and then oh no, are we missing a, oh, maybe this fell out. Okay. If we're able to use this, I will feel relieved. Well, I think we will be able to use it. Yep, we are. Okay, crisis averted. We were able to use this. Okay, well, if I can get this to go through, we will be able to use it. Okay. Yeah, I think this has to get bent before we can use it, because then I'll lock the pin in place. Yeah, this is not cooperating today. You know what? Maybe we'll use a screwdriver. Maybe a screwdriver will work. I think I might have to get a common screwdriver though. I think I am gonna have to get a common screwdriver for this. All right, I'm gonna use the pliers. I'm just gonna bend both of these if I can do it. I think that'll be passable. And then once the double claw mount slips in, it'll be a little something like this, I think. Let's see. If it's gonna be this hard to get it on, then this is gonna be a pain to assemble then. Okay, then it does fit like that. Let's see. Yep, that'll close that up. So, actually this works pretty well. Let's go ahead and get this hung up. Alright, now we're actually ready to hang the fan. I'm going to install the mounting bracket, or double claw mount, whatever you want to call this thing. And I have a pretty good idea that this is going to be a no-joke fan, because this uses a cast iron motor. It's very heavy, and this is, like I said, a bell canopy fan, so I'm really having some high expectations for this. Alright, now I'll get the motor hung up. Alright, that was pretty easy, and oh boy, we have a loose screw freak show. Hopefully that these will be able to just be tightened. Oh boy, this might be stripped out. Well, I'm not worried about it today. I'll fix that on a later date. So, okay, this only has ground, neutral, and motor. There's no light kit to this, so I'm gonna find a wire nut, and we're just gonna cap off the red wire from the ceiling because we're not gonna use it. And we'll connect the neutral. And now the fan motor. I suppose if I want to put a light kit on this, I would have to fish another wire up if I want to do it. I don't know why they couldn't have just fished up another wire through this motor. That would have been so much more helpful. Because, I mean, as a fan collector, I could do it just fine, but I could see that part being kind of frustrating for the average consumer, because they're not going to, because an average person's not going to, they're not going to fish up a wire through and all this stuff. That would be too much work for them. Or at least that's the mindset of today. Alright, let's go ahead and on it here, make sure it works. Looks like it works. And we have put the blades on. Unfortunately, these, yeah, they're common screws. Oh boy, that's going to be a pain to assemble. Although these have nut threads to it, so these might I might be able to have I might have a nut driver that will fit these okay. I'm gonna go look in my toolbox and see if I have any nut drivers that would work with this. I couldn't find a nut driver with this, so I'm just gonna have to use the common screwdriver. They may not be a pain, they might be, but we'll see. Okay. Screws are very long. With screws being that long, I expect this to be a pretty substantial fan. This thing is already definitely showing some quality. This is a cast iron motor. And we'll see just how good this is. It may not be good at all, but from something of this era, and given the fact this is a cast iron motor, I'm expecting it to put out some pretty good performance. See, maybe turn off the light. Yeah, I think turning off the fluorescent light helped in this situation. Sorry, viewers, I had that on. Okay. Alright, here's the look of it with two blades. If this was some antique fan, that would be a pass. Yes, there were antique ceiling fans with only two blades. But this is a 4-blade model, so we got to put the other two blades on first. Look at how long these screws are. It's got to be at least an inch of threads. I think those screws are even longer than the screws I saw in the EnviroFan, and those were pretty long. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and give this a whirl. See how bad or good this is. Feel a little bit of a wobble to this. I think we gotta move this fan a little bit. Actually, I think I'm gonna take a blade off of the Heritage because I don't need blades getting ruined in processes. This fan, the Heritage, is gonna go in my room sometime today. All right. And I'm also going to get my tape measure as well so I can calculate area. Let's see here. What deduction are we going to use? We'll go with... I think we'll go with 8 inches. We have a manometer here. Gonna get the calculator as well, so I can calculate area. And it has a little bit of a wobble to it, but not enough that it would bother me. It's much more expensive fans that I've seen that wobble. So 13.8 is going to be our area because we have an 8-inch circle of no air. Yeah, I feel the air all the way to the iron, so we're going to use 13.8. Go with 433 as our number. So 13.8 times 433, 5,975 CFM. So just barely under above average. This thing is drawing 0.67 amps and 70 watts. I suppose I should really get this packaging off. There's a staple here, which we'll save for some psychotic reason. There we go. There's the tassel. It's making a little bit of a clicking sound, but I think that's just the canopy rubbing against the electrical box. Now let's turn it down to medium. If it wasn't for that clicking sound, this would be pretty quiet. That clicking noise really wouldn't be in a normal use case, so just ignore the clicking sounds. So a little hummy on medium, but not very much. Go with 177. 177 times 13.8. 2,442 CFM. And in our wattage is 59 watts and 0.62 amps, now low. See, are we able to get a wind speed on low, or is it too slow? It's too slow, so we're not going to get a reading on low. But our wattage is 23 and 0.2 amps. So this is not a bad fan. It's not a piece of junk, but it's not as high performance as I thought it would be. And I'm going to turn this back on high one more time to see if it was the ionometer slacking, or if it really does only do just under 6,000 CFM. Gosh, that ticking sound is annoying, but you won't hear that in a normal use case. So let's see here. We'll get another reading in. I'm able to push it to 452 at times, but it's giving me a pretty steady reading of 433 feet per minute, so yeah, it really does do that low. I mean, it's a pretty powerful fan, no doubt, but it's not off the charts like I thought it was going to be. Like, EnviroFan, decorative fan that I had, that one was pretty off the charts. This is pretty tame compared to the EnviroFan that I tested. So, I mean, that's not to say it's a bad fan, it's just not as impressive. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.